Yeah, man. Thanks. Yeah, respect. KOT. Yeah, nakushukuru sana. I don't have much. As niko break kiasi. Yeah.
Russ, please try be a bit audible. I don't know if anyone else is struggling. I can barely hear you.
Hello?
Yeah, just be a bit audible. Thank you.
Okay. Can you hear me right now?
Yes, much better.
Okay,
Asante.
okay, okay, okay. Something. Yeah. Yeah, give thanks to KOT na yeah, na kina DK gift, kina Bint Africa, everyone who is, contributing um, this movement. Yeah, KG ameongea points very strong. So yeah, um, nashukuru kwa kila kitu. I think it's high time right now uh, to focus, guys, because Kenya is bleeding. We are weeping. Um, ongelea kuhusu sisi ambao tuko diaspora. I think LT anaelewa. Yeah, always, supporting the movement. But yeah, Safaricom now is, yeah, is a collaborator with, uh, na na huyo mtu ambaye anatufinyilia, so it's very difficult. Sisi kwa usahii yani tunafinyiliwa ni kusupport, manake at the moment unafanya hivyo, then you are exposed and then you are like put on the red line. So yeah, to yani sahii I'm really I'm not going to use that damn Safaricom anymore. So it's high time we just need to boycott. So mimi na applause hiyo KD. Uh, I think KOT, we are looking upon you. What I can say, and without uh, it's a brain within the movement, because I don't see someone who has been very genuine since the beginning, who has been very positive, who is never tired, who is living for the movement. Yaani wewe ukilala, ukiota, ukiamka ni movement. You are really, you are a soldier. Kama ni maandamano, you are on the ground. That's why, you are still very young. As we are a bit older, but we are behind you. You must remember that. You must know that. Hata sahii ukisema sisi, ukitaka kama ni tukusaidie in terms of upate hata kama ni usafiri ama ni nini, we are ready, kwa sababu it's not, I don't know how much, how much are you going to say that you are with the movement or you are genuine. You have, wewe umeonyesha kwamba wewe you are really fighting for the movement, not like the side shows that you know, we've been seeing with the other, with the other hao wengine ambao wamejionyesha mbio mbio and ambao wana nani tu wanajifaidisha tu. So we are ready to support you and anyone who is, behind the movement. Uh, we are ready to support you. So mimi sina mengi sana, but keep on fighting, guys. We are in together, but tafadhali QT, nafikiria just try to find a way of hii mambo ya Safaricom, kama kutakuwa na another way, then yeah, we can try to uh, kukusanya kama itakuwa ni nani ni hizo ni nani kitu kidogo kidogo huku tuweze kunani kusaidiana because as we are on red line, naweza kuja hapo nifika airport then we being deported ama to disappear, then we won't be hata mtatusikia tena, unaona.
Russ, wind up.
Okay, so thanks. Sina mengi. Let's keep the fire burning here.
Okay. So thank you so much, Russ, for the accolades. Na tunashukuru sana. So we'll keep on engaging and continuing with our struggle for liberation of this country. I think that's the only ultimate prize tunaweza lipa saizi. And so let's have Yefi, then we can go to Effie.
Good evening. Those two names almost sound the same, so I thought you were talking one from another. Otherwise, thank you, KOT, for the space. Thank you, DK Gift. Thank you, everyone who's been on the speakers panel. I've been here since morning, and of course, every listener here. Much needed conversation. Maybe I'll just begin by asking maybe how far we've gone with the whereabouts finding of Aoko, and I hope we keep pushing that hashtag. And of course, Lavamila, the lawyer who was just been abducted, and maybe in terms of strategy, I don't know whether there is need for us to give ourselves a kind of an ultimatum. We can issue that to the National Police Service and the DCI or the government as you know as a whole. Until when then do we want to see Aoko? If we don't see her by when, then we are out on the streets. Having said that, I don't know whether when we talk about this civil disobedience, perhaps we can boycott, like many of us have said, but for how long? Would we boycott, for example, Safaricom in order to assess whether or not it has had the impact that we have intended initially? I want to bring into a perspective here. The reason why 25th of June was very organic and by and large very productive or successful is because we our numbers were not as compromised. We were talking as one nation, and we had sorry to say this, but we had a lot of the followership of Raila Amolo Odinga, who I do not want us to underestimate. He commands almost 6 million people, especially even in the 2022 general elections. And when we went for these maandamano, these demonstrations at 25th, I mean, we were a pact. We were still in the team. And so I feel like the movement was in a way paralyzed and compromised because now we have these followers of Raila Amolo Odinga. Whenever he says something without interrogation of whether right or wrong, they simply say Baba has said. So it's a strategy that Ruto used against us to paralyze this movement and kind of just set it back. And I realized that that is what the political class have been doing, the elite. I mean, Ruto alipitia kwa kanisa, akalialia kidogo, called a little voter apathy na sympathy. Tukajipata tunapigia watu kura. The person that we thought now was on our side is Raila Amolo Odinga. Now he's there in government. He is no longer talking about the abductions and the killings that we are seeing today. He's no longer champion for equitable share of national resources. He's no longer talking about this chief and the new university model of funding. So I mean, okay, wakati wameingia kama hata tuseme kwa government. That's why I wanted to see how these people are just wanaongozwa na self interests zao, personal interests zao, tamaa zao, because we have like around 3 members of parliament ambao walikuwa kwa bunge na waliingia juzi kwa executive, in cabinet. And they actually know when they do that, we cannot even hold by elections for their own constituents. Hao watu wanabaki hapo orphans mpaka ile time wataamua kuform IEBC na time inazidi kwenda. I want to picture a situation whereby people have said no, like the 25th of June. Kila mtu alikuwa amesema hatutaki finance bill. Yani wameongozwa na hiyo tamaa yao na ulafi yao to the degree that parliament inachomwa na mtu saa hiyo anapiga yes hapo ndani ya bunge. They are so blinded to the degree that hawajali. And that's why for me, I think Ruto doesn't care about who dies or what happens to this nation. So we are just left to ourselves. Mimi nataka the next time tunasema tunaenda maandamano, tutokee sisi wote. Now this time mimi sitokei na maji na bendera peke yake, because that one is not working. If we are being told to know the constitutional way, we are becoming anarchists. The people who do not even subscribe to that very constitution in the first place. I mean, we have been pushed to the wall, and I think now it has to be, we will use whatever means possible to free our country, not just for the future generations, but mi nataka kuona Kenya enye nitaishi, I can be able to thrive, whether it's business, but I want to see a better country first. A country that is governed by the rule of law, a country that is transparent, accountable to the people, and respects lives more than anything else. So, thank you guys.
So who was next?
I think I was next.
Okay, just proceed.
All right. I had very few points to put across. First, I'm praying that our sister Aoko is found wherever she is. The thing with Aoko's arrest and why she cannot be taken to court is because, as usual, meona bloggers wengi wameshikwa, akina Nyakundi, akina this piece of shit called a lie. I'm sorry to say this. They've all been arrested, but they cannot be charged because you are going to be infringing on the freedom of speech. Because this is just talking. You can sue someone for defamation, but it will never stick. And that is why they can never take Aoko to a police station, because they will have to arraign her to court the next day. So watuambie tu ako happy na wamrudishe akuje tukaendelee kutukana watu venye amezoea. And I'm hoping that she's back. I would like to ask you guys, put this question across the board and ask, what was the trigger for June 25? Because something must have triggered us, like ilitukasirisha. And I always have this feeling that finance bill ndio ilikuwa excuse ya kutoka, but people were just mad, like completely mad. Because honestly, if you asked 80% of the people wanakata nini kwa finance bill, they would mention maybe one or two things, but people were really, really pissed. And I would wish that spark, that thing that sparked us to go out in the street would come, because this time now, listen to this, guys, the church is on our side. The church is on our side. Let's take advantage of it. Says that when the church you shout Ruto must go, they will all yell amen. The church is on our side. And I see people talking about Raila. Raila had support. Had. But now I feel, and this is from what I've seen, I feel like his base is dwindling. It's getting smaller and smaller, because especially us young people, we're finally seeing who he is, the real Raila. You understand? We don't know why he did what he did, but I assume it's because of that AUC chairmanship, because there's no way you would be running for a AUC chairmanship when you're already fighting with your government at home. You know, kwanza panga kwako kabla kuje kutry kupanga Afrika mzima. So I will always comfort myself saying this man betrayed us because he was aiming for something, which I hope he does not get, but he did that for that. So I feel like to say that we do not, still have the support of young people who supported Raila at that time, and us losing Raila in this battle, which he was not part of, by the way. To be honest, this was such an organic thing. Raila was not part of the Mandamano. He just came, so we can still do it with or without him. When that young girl was telling him to stay home, we meant that we're going to take care of this. So my question is, What is that thing? What is that spark? Who said something one day that rose everybody up? And I was like, you know what? Enough is enough. Enough, because guys, let me tell you something. You see, countries like North Korea or countries like Afghanistan, this is how they start. If you read your history, you'd see when the German country was divided into two, there was the East and the West. And you know, the East they had some people called Stasi, which they used to use Kagunia. In Mau Mau, they call them Kagunia, that they would unakuwaga na neighbor lakini hata ujui anafanyanga kazi tu ya kawaida, and they would still instill fear on people so much. Even mentioning the name of the government, ungepigwa hata na baba yako, just to mention, because someone would go and set you up, mnakujua home. And slowly by slowly, they all became sheep. Mnafuata tu kila kitu gava inasema. And I have a feeling that is what Ruto is trying to do, or his friends, or whoever is killing our young people, whoever is abducting people. That is what they're doing. But for us to do away with these people, you cannot just do away with one person. We have to overhaul the whole thing. It is like when one thing catches mold in your basket, you just don't throw that